This is a very common problem, and I think it's not just Hyundai. I think it's all Asian cars for some reason. Asian car makers, actually the companies that furnish these gaskets for them, they just don't get the correct composition of the gasket to withstand time and temperature. I don't think Europeans have this problem that much, but this is so common. The gasket will start leaking. Yes, this car has 10 years, but it doesn't have a lot of miles. It's only 40,000 miles or so on it, very little. So gasket will start leaking. This is maybe less of a big problem. It starts leaking because it gets hardened by the exhaust heat shield, and it starts leaking. But the big problem with Hyundai, not sure for the other Asian cars, it starts leaking inside the holes for spark plugs. Now my spark plugs are being removed, but if you remove just the ignition coils and look inside, you may find a black circle of oil around the spark, so the spark plug, and that's possibly a problem because it may leak down the threads. Oil, it's really thin when it gets heat up, and it may prevent proper spark, right? So some people say it is not possible to leak inside the combustion chamber on the spark plug tip. I had that problem here on cylinder number 1, and when I did seal that leak, it got a better fuel consumption. So I think it does leak on the spark plug tip and prevent proper spark. Now there is 2 scenarios. One is when you already have a leak. The second is when you don't have a leak. So basically I had the 2 scenarios here. First scenario, it will take more. What I'm using here is gray RTV, ultra gray they call this, the Permatex. I think Permatex is a good brand. However, the caps on this, perhaps already they break, and that's perhaps a scam from the company. They make the cap to break, just detach into pieces after a while, so you need to buy again. Permatex, nice find, huh? Anyway, I don't think it's a mistake from them. It's very long being like this. It's been very long like this. Anyway, so if you don't have, what I recommend, the problem with these gaskets is they are tricky to replace for 2 reasons in my opinion. First, you got this high pressure fuel pump on top of it. Hopefully you can still hear me. And this pump, it's tricky to remove. Some will say, oh, it's very easy. I do not like the very easy line on internet from people. There are some people who love to say very easy, and then when you try it yourself, you find it very difficult. So this pump has tricks on it. This line here for Hyundai, it's a single use. It may start leaking because it's a crush line. When you tighten, if you want to tighten the original one back again, it may start leaking. High 2000 psi pressure fuel on your car while driving is not going to be amusing. Hopefully it doesn't catch fire. So anyway, there are gaskets around, and the pump is, and if you want to replace this line, then I believe you need to remove the intake line. So it's a whole job. But also when you replace these gaskets, everything underneath and even on top of the cover here, it's oily, so you need to fully degrease it. Not just like you see people placing new gaskets without degreasing the cover. It's going to last what, 1 to 3 years? I don't know, it's up to you, but it's a messy job. So you want to prevent at least leaking inside the spark plug hole. So for this matter, you notice the top here, black area, is the plastic from the cover, and the shiny silver looking one is actually the metallic part. So you want to seal this line before it starts leaking. This is up to you. This is just preventative maintenance for me. It's how I try to do things instead of having to replace bigger parts later on and bigger jobs. So ultra gray, but it has to be degreased. It's completely degreased, and I'm going to show you the results. I'm not going to film this because I don't like filming stressful jobs. It's double. It's like you make the work double hard. So it's just matter of maybe so let's imagine this is the split line, just above and below it maybe half an inch or so, and not too thick. not too thick, because you are going to insert the ignition coil. Now here is one that I had a video, I believe, on my channel, which was already leaking. So I managed to completely seal and get completely dry underneath while it was leaking, but I had to clean it again and again because it's keep leaking. You know, oil is very, very thin, and even just a film of oil is going to prevent the RTV from properly sticking there. And just not too thick. Again, if you do on dry, it's when it's not already leaking, you just put, my suggestion is put 2 coats of RTV. So just let one coat dry 48 hours, and then just smear a thin one, both very thin, but not too thin, right? Because you don't want to remove them from there. This is how it looks. You definitely need a flashlight, and also you need to position your body, depends, because you have to reach and also see all around. So for this one, number 4, I had to sit on this side of the car, then on the other side, then on the front side of the car, just to see all around. And I did use, I don't have it here, a Q-tip to reach in there. I think it's the best. But before, the way I did clean this thing, I had a piece of paper. I just removed this ignition coil for another video. I had a piece of paper on a tip, on a long stick. Get the longer stick, because if you drop it in there, it's annoying to remove it, especially if there is no spark plug. Then you drop it inside the engine. Careful with this. So also with the paper, try to get a quality paper towel one, not a cheap one, so that don't detach bits of paper in there. And again, just a stick, and I did just rub it around at least 3 times with isopropyl alcohol, at least 3 times. Even if it doesn't leak, it was dirty. The 2 first times was dirty, so you really need to remove any kind of oil vapors from there, from the surface. And then with the Q-tip, I did spray, I did coat the tip of the Q-tip a little bit with RTV, not too much, because it's really a fiddly job, and you need to go very slowly, section by section, just small section at a time. Go slowly at the split line, and again a thin film, but that covers fully. And need to go really slowly, and don't let a thick dub, because that will get too thick, and when you push the ignition coil back in place, it's going to remove it. Or even the socket for spark plugs is going to rub against the seal if it's too thick, and it's going to remove it from there. So you don't want that. Anyhow, I think it's fairly good job, and hopefully it's going to yes, prevent future leaks. That's about the most important thing when this gasket do leak.